We're with the Office of Community Development.
Louisville Land Bank.
You have 6 months to get this property done.
If I have real estate questions or whatever, she's got a lot of great ideas.
But he's the building expert.
So you would have enough room to put your installation in between.
So that makes us a good team. Our goal is to show you how you can buy your own property and do an amazing rehab like this one.
That's why we do what we do.
Hey everybody, today we are in the Russell neighborhood, which is currently undergoing a huge transformation.
Yes.
With a lot of great projects going on, businesses popping up, and of course a lot of this is happening because of the major rebuild of the Beecher Terrace neighborhood, which is right in the heart of Russell. It's a $200 million project. Basically just try to wrap all around that complex. We just want to keep everything else moving forward.
It's long overdue because the history of Russell, Walnut Street, Muhammad Ali, and there's just so many structures, very key structures. A lot of them were taken down over the years, but there's still a lot of historical structures still here.
That are worth saving and need to be saved.
Yes.
Especially if you look around this block here. These homes are just gorgeous.
2420 was sold to a nonprofit to be rehabbed. Just didn't pan out. And we understand that. I mean, give us the property back, we'll find somebody to do it.
If I can't do it right, I won't do it.
Mr. Scott got it to a RFP.
By me being a bricklayer for 30 years, I got an art that I use that most remodelers can't do. So we do all type of masonry schemes, tile, brick, stone. And this is one of the showpieces that we do. We take these old porches with the cracks in them. It changes the game. Once you go in it, you'll see. It's got a little more punch to it than what it looks like on the outside. So we kept the old brick wall. We wanted to keep some of the old part of the house, put some new stuff in. We did like a stone accent wall. And when I first bought this house, it was just one hallway, and the hallway just had a bunch of rooms.
It had a real nasty, ugly, I was looking for the word I could safely say, room addition on the back that was falling in.
So when I first bought this house, right here was actually a big old brick wall. We demoed the whole house, and I found wonderful jewels in it. Ceilings were 9 foot when I bought it. When we gutted it, they turned into 12 foot 6 ceilings.
He opened up the ceiling in the porch to expose all the limestone window heads. They had been covered over, and they're unique. There's not another house on this street with those headers.
Didn't we bet how tall they were? And didn't I win?
No, I think I won. I believe you was a little short.
I wanted to create something different. We decided to do an open concept. So what we did is opened up the front room and the kitchen.
So it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. The bathroom.
A lot of expensive tile work.
Yes. I mean, just all the way through. And now, I mean, it's a beautiful house.
I put a lot of pride in it, so, you know, I'm kind of like stuck to it for a little while. It's like a kid going to college. You really don't want them to go, but eventually you gotta let them go, so.
There's a couple other ones down here on this street that are in foreclosure. We'll just keep pushing forward to get them occupied.
You can take old houses and create structures of beauty from something that was built so long ago.
As all these get rehabbed, it's just gonna make the street better.
Samuel Plato was early 1900 black architect. He designed Quinn Chapel. This is his personal house. That little Florida room on the end that's where Samuel Plato used to draw. That was his drawing room. So you can imagine Quinn Chapel may have been designed in that corner. This house needs to be stabilized.
A lot of these were cut up into multiple units.
The Russell neighborhood has such a rich history and deserves to see these types of buildings that were so prominent and so important to the neighborhood come back and be that again. It's just so important to do that. We are standing in front of the Beauregard College of Music and Art. It's like they just walked away.
All students are to wait in the lobby and not in the office. All this is just still hanging there.
I love this big old house.
The house was built around 1892.
When did it become the school?
She bought it at 27.
Hello, Bogart. What's going on?
Caroline was a music teacher. She was actually Louisville's first music supervisor over all the public schools. So she saw a need, and so she established her College of Music and Art.
Instruction in piano, voice, organ, strings, brass, woodwinds, and percussion.
She started with like a handful of students, and then it grew in a year to 150.
It is in really good condition. This is the older one.
Those are little
Tiny
kids.
little kids' desks.
Things you think you should salvage. Potentially U of L might take it as an archive of this.
Okay.
Or Western Library is starting their African American archive.
Yeah, that's a songbook.
I mean, there's so much history in this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Steinway.
Yes, it's a Steinway.
Yeah, a lot of organization. And then suddenly it stopped.
Well, a lot of the instructors just retired, and they couldn't get anybody to come in and help.
It's been vacant for a while.
It's too important of a structure to let sit vacant.
It's actually had pieces and parts removed from it, unfortunately.
When I first came in here, there was a whole lot more to this house. I'm thinking it was probably a light, a globe. The banisters, most of it's here, but it's in parts where they just broke all the ballast out and the railing.
A lot of the work appears to be mostly cosmetic, nothing really structural.
Now the land bank has it. We're going to restore it.
We won $500,000 to do a lot of work to the building. It's a long list.
I was thankful that Savannah put that grant together to get the $500,000 for the stabilization. First things we do is get it dried in, get a roof on it.
Gutters, get all the tuck pointing done.
Health songs dedicated to Kentucky children, Carolyn Borgard.
She wrote these.
Yeah, she wrote these.
Oh my God.
So it's making that determination of how is this building significant? What did it do for the community and what can it do for the community again?
Ideally, we'd like to have at least 2 different arts organizations in here.
So we can start making memories.
The Board of Trustees wish to recommend you for the fine services which you have rendered. 1944.
We just need to educate people what they have here while it's still standing. $500,000 is going to set us on the path, so I'm excited.
Once we get a property in our inventory, whether it's a foreclosure or a donation, which this one was actually donated to the land bank, we'll come out and do an initial inspection, figure out what program we want to put it in, and then we're also going to look around the neighborhood and see if there's any other properties that we need to focus on. So for example, when we came out here the first time, you noticed this property right away, especially with that bad corner, how it's leaning. And then you realize that this was actually brick over a frame structure. It should have never been brick.
Basically, this house is sinking. You take a look down the side or take a gander, you can see all the sidewalks all leaning back. So not only is it basically sinking into the ground, but now the sidewalk is channeling the water right back into it. Get you a little camera up in there, you can see the wood siding behind. So this is the old foam in a can, and all that is just a sponge. When we ask somebody to put the kind of money that this is going to require, we need to figure out some way to get this or get this person to get in compliance to fix it.
There's just all types of issues that we come across that some people just would not believe.
Just looking at the Facebook ones, North 28th Street.
That should be on my foreclosure list.
That's what I'm saying.
We foreclose on those problem properties where the neighbors are complaining about rats and rodents, roofs caving in, people going into the houses. So if there's not been anybody in it for a year and we're seeing that we are taking care of it, cutting, cleaning, boarding. Those are the type of properties that we look at. This one's a good one. $10,508 in taxes. Anytime that they have to come out and board or cut, they will cite the house. In 5 years, this property has accrued over $17,000 in liens. That tells me that this property owner is definitely negligent. It is an actual court case where you have to get served and all that.
This property is located.
The ending goal is that it goes to an auction. We'd like to get these properties, especially our properties, because we already know the condition it's in. Sometimes people buy these properties, they don't understand what they're getting into. They see it from the outside, it could look good, and then when they walk in it, they realize what a bad buy, and they will leave it again. So we've had properties that we've had to foreclose on numerous times. If you are living next to a vacant or an abandoned property or one is on your block, notify 311. We have an open period a couple of times a year. Private citizens can request us to foreclose on properties. Let's do something about it. Let's change owners and put it in a responsible person's hands.
There's so much stuff down here, people don't have a clue what's down here.
So convenient to downtown. There's nothing really affordable on the other side of downtown, and down here you can still get a great price on a property. Anytime you're dealing with older houses like this, obviously they a lot of times cost more money to renovate because you will have special size windows.
Underneath that floor joist, behind that tub, there's going to be extra expenses.
We do see where people will cut corners, put in new windows that don't fit. I mean, we want to see at least the front restored to the original.
You need flexibility when you do open up a bathroom wall and there's no vapor barrier behind it and the framing's rotted. You need that contingency fund, and hopefully that doesn't break your project.
You're going to have definitely more cost in renovating these if you do them correctly. I love old houses. I don't think I could ever live in a brand new house personally, but I think you do have to have a passion for it, want to do it right.
I would scout the area on my bicycle, and I finally found this one. I knew it was the one. It looks like the bomb just exploded. It's actually bigger than I was looking for, but I couldn't pass on it when I saw it.
He fell in love with that property, contacted the owner, and was able to make out a deal with the property owner.
I walk in and I said, it has a perfect layout, not much to do to it.
We were really happy to see that property saved. Now, we were a little concerned because we knew it was in really rough shape.
Didn't have power, didn't have water. It was vacant for about 12 years. That's the roof being rebuilt.
He's restored all the little trim underneath. He handmade all those himself.
What am I doing? But everything that comes along eventually falls into place and things get done and you move to the next one. I will focus on what I need first to move in, then I'll deal with the rest. Years ago, I used to make my living painting murals and faux finishes, and people used to pay me to make walls look like this. Underneath it all, it had this 150-year history, like a woman's figure. When I saw the real thing, I said, there is no way I can cover this. So I'm keeping some of the old plaster and some new drywall. Once you refinish the floors and put new baseboards, the new ceilings, that is going to feel like a good balance of old and new, I think. I wanted to put something that I knew it would address a big old house like this without using too much gas. I don't know if this thing is on or off. I cannot hear it. I added thickness to the entire ceiling to have more insulation and to be able to run some of that work within that ceiling. I wanted to do what works for me. I wasn't going to do things for the market. The big room on the front is what I call my playroom. I will have my desk. I like to play music. I like to paint. This is a formal living room where I have a TV and sitting area. This hallway I created to distribute between the kitchen and the bedroom. We have the yard, but it's nice to have something upstairs to be able to walk outside. Needless to say, full-time job in its own, and I already had a full-time job. So I had to do it on my spare time and sometimes not being able to dedicate the time it needs.
He's done an amazing job. It's been a long project, but he's taken his time and he's doing it right.
Now I'm getting to a part of the process that is a lot more exciting and fun. You start to see the final results. That's very encouraging. I literally looked for a property for years because I knew how much work it takes. I had to be in love with the building and the house. Russell always had the potential. We are very pleased that the city and many other organizations saw the potential as well, and they see the impact that it's going to have in the rest of the city.
As Beecher Terrace gets rebuilt, that's a lot of families and people that are moving back into the neighborhood. So we need local businesses here to support all the new property owners and new residents that are moving into the area.
Chef Space is Louisville's first kitchen incubator.
Emily, can you get me a banana pudding?
We pair resources, commercial kitchen space and equipment, along with education, one-on-one training.
I am Lucretia, the pretty face of the place. Today, my favorite thing is the smoked turkey legs. I've been here for 5 years. Woo woo! It's the saying, if you don't make it in 5 years, so you should have saw me creeping, and when the 5th year came, I'm like, woo, I jumped for joy. The unknown is the biggest challenge.
There's a low risk, a low barrier way to get into a kitchen space and really test your model.
And you're going through and you're hit like with COVID, this building still stood. So it gives you that stability, you know. I'm grateful that I was one of the fortunate business to still be here. We have ups and downs, but it's really been great. I mean, it's been more positive than the challenges that we've been through.
We have free education classes that anybody in Louisville and the local areas can attend.
I love being here to encourage and to help them with any questions, any jitters, just anything that concerns them.
We, of course, support buying local, especially if you know where your food and products are coming from, but then to be able to support groups of people that have struggled historically in small business ownership and the disenfranchisement of the local area here.
So I got this order here, rib tip. I'm glad to be a vet. I like it. It's like, okay, I've made it. A little bit. Just a little bit.
I've always liked Russell. It's a great place. It's close to everything. Got a lot of great people here, a lot of great businesses, people trying to do good for themselves. If you have the right model, I think anything can work here. This was the to-do place, the who's who of the Russell community way before I was born. Muhammad Ali hung out here, and Mr. Joe Hammond was influential in the community. Lenny Lyles came here, he was a professional football player. So this was the who's the who that came to want to hear great jazz music. This place was a nightmare when I got it. It looked like somebody dropped a bomb. The roof was leaking, plumbing pipes exposed, mold, carpet that was mildewed. Many times I wanted to quit. I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean? This is a lot of work. And it took me months and months and months in order to get it right. We're finished now and the business is doing good. And I finally got it, man, from the artwork to the floor to the furniture that we picked. All that came from Chef Supply, Dave over there, he did a great job. To the ceilings, to everything, the light fixtures. This is all handcrafted, handmade by my guy, Evan Marks. It took a lot of money to get this place back to where it needed to be, but the bones are unbelievable. Structure's excellent. It's a great building now. We're a performance venue, so when people come here, they expect to get a live performance. We usually do 2 shows when we bring in a national act. Old school, new age R&B, and older, mature rap events. So usually it's all 35 and up, and come and get great food. They're like, man, I can't believe what this place was and what it is now. All the art was curated by Mr. Charles Rice. He's phenomenal. We got all the greats. Michael Jackson, we got Whitney Houston, all the Motown greats there. This artwork makes this place. There's not a lot of options for older people to be able to come out and enjoy themselves and be safe. We want a safe environment. People love the food, they love the entertainment, they love what we're doing in the community.
That sounds nice, doesn't it? Hearing kids playing?
Yeah.
I like that. We need more of that.
Yep. If you'd like to learn more about the city's land bank, you can go to our website, louisvilleky.gov/vacant.
Go to what she just said, and then on the front page, down towards the bottom, it'll say subscribe and stay informed. That's what you need to click. So when we send out new properties, check your mailbox, because the last look, the dollar properties, first come, first serve, and they go quick. Mm-hmm. We got some good ones coming up. Ooh, good ones. It's subscribe and stay informed.
Yeah.
That's
oh God, not the wink.
She's talking to me. Did you hear it? We're going to save it. I'm always right.
No.
Yeah.